Welcome back to Zach Collect Stuff. Sunny Sunday morning, going to be hot today, but I'll be spending the day in air conditioning doing a sports card show in Lake Station, Indiana. I've done this card show a few times. You can see back there I've got my haul of other things. I'm going to bring 10-cent cards, I'm going to be dollar cards, trying to clear out some space so that I can chase down some of the vintage sets that I've been trying to complete. I'm going to show you my setup and hopefully some of the pickups along the way. And as we go through this video, if you have any questions about card shows or kind of an approach to card shows, setting up at card shows or going to card shows, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as soon as I see those comments. Those questions that you ask definitely drive future videos. It'd be pretty cool to make a video based on viewer questions and viewer comments. So please feel free to leave those comments in the section down below. We can communicate that way. Let's get to it. Well, I made it back from the show. This show, I think, suffered from a great weather day. I guess I call it a problem, is that it was a beautiful day outside. It was hot, it was sunny, and the fact that it was nice outside, I think that kind of kept people away and out doing other things. And so the traffic was light. Typically at this show, I do pretty well. As the day went on, I was able to make back my table fees, which is a great thing. That's typically my goal going into this, and then I want to make a few extra bucks so I can go around and shop, but it just didn't happen this time. I was able to make my table fees back and then a little bit extra, enough to make it worth it. I was able to pick up a few things. Picked up 4 boxes this size of a mixture of sports: baseball, basketball, football, UFC. There's some hockey in there as well. And it was just base cards, inserts, everything else. And the guy came up, he had been offering this deal to other people around the show, and it was towards the end of the show for him. He wanted to get out of there, and he didn't want to carry the 4 boxes of those home with him. Can't blame him. He offered to sell them to me for $25 for all 4 boxes. So I said, yeah, I'll take that gamble. That's the price of a blaster box, so I couldn't say no to that. Looking at it now, it was definitely worth it, and I understand why he didn't want to carry them home. There's a lot of base cards, but this entire box is full star cards, inserts, parallels, serial numbered stuff. I'll go through the highlights of that 4-box pickup in a separate video. I think it'll take too long to do in this video, and I'll just show the few pickups that I had. The highlight of this show for me was definitely the interactions. Numerous people came through, and it was their first card show they'd ever been to. They were looking for a certain thing, so I was able to connect them to certain people, or whatever the case was. It was just good to interact with the buddies that I've made through this community, as well as new collectors who are coming into it. One family in particular, a father and 2 sons, it was their first card show. Made sure to make it worthwhile for them. I made sure to give them some players from their favorite teams. One of the boys liked the Yankees, so I gave him a couple Aaron Judge cards and let him pick a few others. The other boy liked Cubs, so I let him pick 5 or 6 Cubs cards from the dollar bin. Just something to make their first show memorable that would keep them collecting and make it a good experience for them. All that being said, good show by the end of it. Like I said, I didn't lose money or anything, so that's kind of the goal going into a card show for me, being a common collector. This isn't my business. This is just something I do on the side for fun. And so I have to keep that in mind when I go into these shows, especially the ones that aren't busy and the ones that aren't raking in money. I need to find the positives in this and keep that mindset. So I'm going to show you the things that I picked up and tell you what I picked them up for. Let's get to it. There it is. That's all that I picked up at this show, besides the 4 monster boxes of cards. But this is a pretty light haul from what I typically pick up at shows. Jack Caglianone. Just a mojo. This isn't a short print or anything. This is just his typical 2025 mega box refractor. I traded a PCA insert, a numbered insert, a Pete Crow Armstrong numbered insert, and another Cubs card for this. It was valued at about $5, and so the other 2 cards that I had were a $3 and a $2 card. The guy said, how about those 2 Cubs cards for this Caglione. I said, sure, sounds great to me. Small trade, but a really cool card. Another trade, got this Rip Hamilton, Topps Chrome autograph, and a Pistons fan, had to have this one. Picked this up in a trade for a bunch of other basketball inserts. I was able to trade him some Michael Jordans and Kobe, like low-end inserts, about $10 to $15 worth of cards, and this seemed to be comping at about $6 to $10 on eBay. There was a guy that was coming around. He had a list, and they were basically 90s hoops and other early 90s basketball inserts needs that he had. So he was digging through my just random basketball box that I had, a 10-cent or a 25-cent box and a $1 box. He found a handful of cards, $10 worth of cards. And I found these in his trade box that he had. He wanted to trade away some stuff. I just found a few Michael Jordans. Basically, these are like $1 cards or $2 cards. This is like a $2 or $3 card. So I put these together and basically said $5 to $7 worth of value. We just traded straight up for these 3 Michaels for the stack of basketball cards that he needed for his sets that he was trying to complete. This interaction was one of my favorite ones, and the reason why this show wasn't a bust for me. But there was a young collector who came around, and he had some pretty cool stuff. And so I put together this stack of cards, and I told him I'd give him basically about $50, $40 to $50 in cash or trade value. And he's like, how do you get your values? He says, because I look up these cards and I see them listed at $50 and I see them listed at $45. And so I walked him through the process of how I comp out, or how I comp a value of a card. Brooks Lee. This autograph was going for about, I think it was like 15 to 20 bucks at the time. So I told him how I would give him about 12 to 15 bucks in value for it. The Jace Young was about a $10 card. The Gary Sheffield, same thing, about $7 to $10. The Bobby Witt Jr., I can't remember exactly what it was, but when it came into value that I was willing to give up for them, I told him I would give him about 40 bucks, and he was more than happy with that. And the fact that I had spent the time with him to teach him how to comp a value, a true value, using 130 point and eBay sold listings, he was more than happy with that deal. He got some walking around cash, and he was more than happy to kind of part with these baseball cards, these baseball autographs, to kind of have cash towards something that he really wanted. But it's just the interactions like that where I feel like I'm actually being of use and trying to teach somebody a useful tool, like looking up a value of a card and how much it's actually sold for instead of just what it's listed for on eBay. Interactions like that are why I keep doing the shows in the hobby. I picked up from him this Gary Sheffield fan favorite autograph. I have a soft spot for Chef. He was a Tiger for a while. Loved watching the guy play. Should be in the Hall of Fame. 500 home run hitter. A nice Tigers prospect, Jace Young, Leaf Exotic autograph. Very cool looking card there. And this one is numbered 5 of 5. The Leaf stuff, there's certain Leaf stuff that is really valuable. And then you have Leaf stuff like this, which is like 10 bucks, maybe. Brooks Lee, he's one of the Twins' top prospects. He's playing in the league right now. I think he's doing okay as a rookie. But a nice Mojo refractor. Pretty cool there. And then, of course, Bobby Witt Jr., the Green Wave from Topps Black, numbered to 99. Pretty neat card there as well. And the last deal that I made was right at the end of the show. Guy came up and he had this SGC 10, Ronald Acuna Jr., but it's the rookie debut from 2018, serial numbered out of 2018. He was looking for $100 for it. The fact that I hadn't sold that many things on the day, it was tough for me to part with $100 at once for this card, even though I feel like the value is definitely there for this. A 9.5 of this same thing, an SGC 9.5, sold for $99 on eBay. Now, we know there's fees and whatever else attached to it, but we ended up coming to a deal. I had an Adley Rutschman yellow Mojo numbered 1 of 75. That was an SGC slab. I can't remember if it was a 9.5 or a 10. I think it was a 9.5. And I was able to get $20 in value towards this. So I made a trade of that Rutschman plus $80 for this. So he was happy with the deal. He wanted $100 in cash. And I said, $100 in cash is kind of tough for me, but if you kind of make a trade in cash, I'd be totally happy to do that. It was right at the end of the show, and I think he just wanted to move it. He didn't want to bring it home with him. He said he bought this right when Acuna came back and hit that home run from his injury this year. And he said he has like $200 into it, maybe $175 into it. So he's losing money on it. Not sure the truth or whatever validity of that story, but regardless, I picked this up for about $100 in value. One of the best players in baseball, stays healthy. He's going to be an MVP candidate. That's what I picked up at the show. It was kind of a light haul and kind of a slow show overall, but I was able to make a few deals and increase the collection, replace some of the things that I had going out. Some PC collection stuff, got the Acuna, got the Rip Hamilton autograph, and overall, I look back on it, and it started out slow. I was kind of stressing about it, but talking to some other vendors that were having similar issues and seeing some of my buddies that I hadn't seen in a while, it was good to reconnect with them. It was good to be there and make some deals and just interact with some good people. So again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you ever have any questions about doing a card show, or if you have a question about how to approach attending a card show, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'd love to make this more of a community-based, interactive channel going forward. As always, thanks for watching, keep collecting, and I'll talk to you soon.